Hello there, welcome to this lesson. So we've touched a lot before on HTML and what that means, and hopefully you've had a chance to play with some things and make some HTML document yourself. But now we're going to learn more about this block here, which is the CSS side of things. What is CSS? Well, CSS stands for, let me type it in here, Cascading Style Sheet. Okay, a style sheet, that refers to the style block here, because it's a style and it's a sheet, or a piece of paper, you can say. The cascading bit is the one that's important. What do I mean by that? Well, take a look at this. We've got a p tag here, and I've assigned a color green to it, so it shows up green. But what happens if I give it an of red? And now I have a red class, red selector that is color red. What do you think is going to happen? Yes, it's going to override the green color, and that's what we mean by the cascade. See, you can declare things, but you can overwrite them later. Even more interesting, what if I have an ID here of purple? An ID, you select it using that. Purple. Now what color is it going to be? Purple. Yes. So there is like a hierarchy of what they call specificity. So things have a specificity like that. So you can be more specific with things, and the more specific you get, then that will decide which one will overrule, which rule will overrule the rest. Because if I have another one here, say red, purple, now that's more specific than the others, and it means that it's going to be orange. And it doesn't matter which order that comes in, because this one is more specific. Whoops. I believe. Yes, that one's going to still override it. Okay, but you can also do this, which you should never do, by the way. It's green because you've overridden it with the important selector. Okay, so don't ever do that because it's bad, but you can override things if you need them. Okay, that is specificity. All right, so let's just code up some things here. There's some other things you can do with code. For example, I am going to have fonts in here. Cursive, this one's fun. And I'm going to select everything because I want the whole document to be cursive. Now I'll make it like that. How cool is that? Or you could just say body, for example, and that will override because nothing else is. But if this was, of course, sans serif, then that would override that one. Okay. So let's just leave that like that because sans serif is a lot nicer. Although you could do even more fancy things if you go to com and you have some fonts, actually quite a lot of fonts, varying widely in quality. But now you can have a little play and say you want something, I don't know, a little bit more playful. Dancing script. And what you can do is, oh, that doesn't look too good, does it? There we go. Select the style. All right, now, oh, look, here's a link tag. Let's copy that and put it in our head of our document. Oh, it's actually 3 because it's not only loading it, but it's pre-connecting it. We won't talk about what that is just yet. Now we put font family dancing script. And it's always good to provide a fallback, so don't just use the remote font that you've loaded here, but also have a fallback font. This is because if something happens to Google Fonts and it goes down, you still want people to be able to read your site, don't you? Look at that. fancy, hey? And you can also do other things like do positional things, right? I think I might have showed some of you this. So you can rotate things like that. Isn't that fun? But you can also, I need to look up the syntax for this one. So you can do things like, yeah, you can do like this, right? So here's an animation duration. Rotate, and then what you can do is, so this is declaring an animation keyframe. So what it does, it will animate between two different frames that you give it. And so you do from, there are other properties available too, from 0 degrees, starting position. I've got my syntax wrong here somehow. Yes, I haven't provided it with a name. Rotate from, and then to 60 degrees. And now, what should happen is when we reload the page, the cat will rotate. You can do different things like 0% here if you wanted a bit more control, to 100%, like that. And then you can of course have 50%, and you can have another thing there. Or you can also do like, here's the translation, is the duration is 3 seconds, but if you do it 6 seconds, the cat will rotate in a more slowly fashion. Or infinite. How do you spell that? Like that. No, that's not going to work. So there's some syntax which makes it keep going. I can't remember what that is. Yeah, anyway, you can keep it going, like repeating. Ah, yes, animation iteration count, that's the one. 3. Cat will rotate 3 times. 1. Let's just make sure. 2. 3. 1, 2, 3. He's going to keep going. He's just going to keep going. He's just going to keep rotating. Okay, this is getting silly. All right. Okay, cat, stop. Stop, cat. Right, there we go. Normality has resumed. So you can do a lot with CSS. You can also do this. So, say for example, I wanted that to be red, but when media, when I want the min width of the screen to be, say, 768, because that's a common one that's used for like tablets and mobile devices and things, then we want red to be blue. What have I done? Spot the deliberate mistake. So it's, let's just get rid of that. So it's, yeah. So it's red there, but when it gets larger, it's blue. And the good thing about that is that you can sort of specify where things are, layouts based on the width of your design. So we'll get into more griddy stuff. No, grid, we do grid as well. Why not? Okay, here we go. So say you have a grid like this. I'm just going to nick this from NDM because MDN, because why not? And then you've got some CSS for that now here. Okay, lots of CSS. No, that's too much. So right now, so now I've got a grid here. Maybe we should get rid of the cat for now. Bye. So then we've got a grid here, kind of. All right. It's a bit weird, this one, but you can do things like because of course that grid will look a bit squashed if you've got a lot of elements and it's on a small device. So now you can only display grid. So no, there. Yes, I know I'm duplicating. So display block, which is usually what you get, and then we do our media query, and then we put and display grid. See, so now this is going to be save that, refresh, like that's going to be a list of things. But then when you get up to a certain breakpoint, it all goes nicely and fits the space available. How cool is that? Okay, so now you can see how not only can we do fun things like make cats rotate ad infinitum, but we can also do things like laying out the entire page, right? So now this is the way that you can make fancy stuff and make websites the way that they look when you look at them. But I'm going to give you another resource here. So once you get through this, and I do advise that you manually do this, because you can't replace doing things by muscle memory, by just knowing how things work. And you should never move on to these things until you know the fundamentals. But that being said, there is this kind of thing. So this is a library of CSS, right? So you can just import, right, your stuff, your bootstrap. Let's see. So this one, you can just add these together. Script there, and now we've got some JavaScript as well, because it does some fancy animations and things. Oh, isn't that glorious mess? And now when you go into your thingy bob, now you'll find it has got some presets, and this means you can say you wanted docs. You can, those usually gives you a bit of some fun things to do, like you can have like a nav bar with some links like that, and all you just do is you can grab all of that there, drop it into your document here. Let's get rid of that for now. Oh, not the body tag though, that would be dangerous, wouldn't it? And ooh, where's it gone? There. Hey presto, you have a nav bar, albeit with a really funny font. So it will do lots of things for you, which means that you can get a lot further with your time. All right, it won't implement a search. It just looks fancy. All right, don't need to do the search thing yourself. The actual JavaScript, but oh, and that's not working. There's something wrong there. But it will give you things that you can do with CSS. So have a look at, do this exercises, please. Make sure you do it. Have a look on MDN for the documentation, and then look at getbootstrap.com, okay? Because that will give you all those nice fancy things to do, all right? So I hope you have fun with that. So get started with some CSS, see what you can make on your own, see how many cats you can make rotate on the screen at one time. It'll be a lot. All right, and have fun with that. I'll see you in the next one.